Tom Alibrando from IWI, and we're going to discuss the 300 Blackout and some of the differences between it and the regular 5.56 X95. The disassembly is almost exactly the same. Pulling the trigger pack out, all that the same. There is a little difference in the bolt, and it has to do with the bolt carrier itself, or the the timing rod. So it's going to come apart the same way an X95 does. You pop the pin across, this drops out, pull the bolt carrier group out. Running through the center of it, you have the same exact thing you have in the X95. The difference is to disassemble the bolt carrier, the bolt group, you've got to pop this up even higher. The other one is only about 1/3 of an inch on an X95. So if you've got a 5.56 and you pop it this far, it'll come apart. On a 300 Blackout, it won't. You actually have to pop it a little higher. You grab the actual buffer, grab the rod, and you'll hear it kind of pop out. And now it's ready to be disassembled. So it's going to stick out about 1.5 inches, 1.25 or so. Okay, you still have to pull the rod all the way back and the recoil mech all the way back. You push the bolt guide pin out, and then everything else is going to disassemble exactly the same. You still have a firing pin spring, still have a firing pin, and these parts, you know, look exactly like the X95 5.56. So that's easy. Reassembling the 300 Blackout, you're going to do it the same exact way. You're going to have that saddle. It's going to go on the ridge on the back. Okay, make sure you have the firing pin spring in there. Grab the actual bolt itself. Remember, the helix has to face up. Okay, you're going to push it back, rotate it to the opposite side, so the pin's going to go in from left to right. Push back on the bolt while it's in the carrier. Get this started. Now remember, the bolt guide pin can only go in one way, and if you look at the X95, the regular video there, you're good to go. Now here's the big difference. Obviously, you got like a syringe. You kind of push that in, you're done. Give it a check. Give it a check, and you're good to go. Okay. We'll drop it in the back, and we'll function test it just real quick because we did have it apart, right? I'm going to clear it a couple times. Yep, it's clear. Make sure that if you're working the charge end, you're ripping it back, even when you're loading it or in any way, you know, working the charge end. You want to be aggressive with that. So one other difference in the 300 Blackout, we'll identify this one, is it actually has a gas regulator in the middle of the rail. That's where the gas exchange happens, right here in about the center of the gun. And you're going to see it's got 1 dot and 2 dots, okay? So a lot of people confuse this for suppressed and unsuppressed if I've got a can on the end of it. It has nothing to do with suppressed and unsuppressed. It has everything to do if you're shooting supersonic rounds or subsonic 300 Blackout rounds. So right now with 1 dot facing the bore line, it's set for supersonic 300 Blackout, okay? If I want to change it to subsonic rounds, and a lot of people when they shoot, they're going to set it for one setting. They're kind of monogamous to a certain round they like to put through a 300. So if you're going to shoot subsonic, what you have to do is you get a punch and you're going to put it in there. And if you have a punch and a live round, you're good to go, because you can take the live round, the back of the casing, and you can put it here and you can flip it, you know what I mean, and turn it. But you got to push down the detent that's inside. And then in this case, I'm going to use a screwdriver. I'm going to turn it. And once I get it started, I can let go of that detent. That's only a locking detent. I turn it, and it clicks, and now it's set for subsonic rounds. What that's doing, it's opening up the gas port, because subsonic rounds less pressure, right? So it's got to be able to dump more pressure into the piston to make the weapon function. So now it's set for subsonic, and then you're done. If you have any questions, look us up at IWI US, and we'll see you on the range.